Alright, it's time to take a look at the new big trophy box premium platoon, the Chrysler 1. Or should I say the XM1 Chrysler, the mini Abrams. This vehicle basically brought up the speculation that the M1 Abrams is the next tier 10 premium, the next tier 10 normal vehicle platoon. And I'm kind of excited to see how that will work. But yeah, I'm playing this vehicle a little bit early. And I was really surprised by its maneuverability and speed. This vehicle has a 105mm main cannon, 75 km/h is the top speed, the reverse 45 or 41 km/h. It weighs 53 tons, 4 kilometers, average penetration 258mm, 6.7 second reload. The armor is decent, the frontal upper plate is well sloped, so it could bounce shells. The turret is also well protected, but you do have that little, I guess, lower plate that could be a potential weak spot. And some of the turret parts, flat parts, could potentially also be a weak spot. But overall, this vehicle, as I mentioned before, is incredibly fast. I was really surprised by the speed of the XM1 Chrysler. And let's take this thing for a little ride and let's see how it will work. But yeah, one thing that players mentioned, the average penetration of the main cannon is rather low. Only 258mm. Well, that's because you do get a PFSDS ammo, but it's one of the lower penetrating APFSDS shells, the M735 APFSDS shell. Now, is that a deal breaker? Well, not really. I personally haven't noticed many significant difference. I would say it performs and acts like any other 105mm cannon within the tier. Gameplay wise, I would say this vehicle feels like a Leopard. It honestly feels like a Leopard, a lot like a Leopard. I kind of expected this vehicle to be on the slower side. I expected this vehicle to be a little slow, but honestly, when I started to use it, when this thing started to fly across the map, I was impressed. One of the more maneuverable vehicles within the tier. The armor, as I said before, the armor is okay. In this tier, in top tier, we don't really rely on armor a lot, but technically you should be able to bounce some shells if you manage to hide the vehicle properly. I think the vehicle also has blowout panels, however I haven't really had the chance to see those in action myself. I know some other vehicles do have them. I know the Leopard 2AV has them, the TTD also has them, and some other Leopards, recent Leopards also have them. This vehicle should also have them, does appear to have them. The ammo is stored in the turret, in the left portion of the turret, so technically I believe it should have a blowout panel based on how it's made. That baguette flew across the map. That was a huge explosion, by the way. This thing easily reaches 70 km/h top speed. Again, as I mentioned before, ridiculously maneuverable. I say ridiculously maneuverable because it doesn't feel like a XM1. It doesn't feel like a mini Abrams at all. It feels like a Leopard, and I like that. The only thing I really need from a vehicle, speed and a good main gun. Armor is, I guess, fine, although that slope on the front is really, it's very sloped, and with sheer angle you should be able to deflect a lot of shells. However, I wouldn't be relying on that. As I usually say, tandem ATGMs are a thing, and they will penetrate without a problem. So you have to make sure that you avoid those types of ATGM. And this is where I messed up. Side armor is pretty weak, as we have expected and as we already probably know from the previous top tier vehicles. The side armor on these vehicles tends to be rather weak. Most of the defenses are focused on the front of these vehicles, and that includes this vehicle as well. Front armor, yeah, it's good. Side armor, not so much. So always make sure that there is nothing on your sides, because that will usually be bad news, as we have seen here. So you have to protect the side armor as much as you can. But overall, the XM1 Chrysler does work really well. I have honestly no complaints about the vehicle. Again, I know a lot of players will mention the ammo, but from my experience, the ammo wasn't really a deal breaker at all. I didn't even notice what ammo I was shooting until I was told that the ammo is supposedly bad, and it didn't prevent me from actually doing really well with the vehicle. So at the end of the day, in top tier, even the worst APFSDS shell will be more than enough to do good. If you know the weak, I mean, you will shoot at the weak spots regardless of what ammo you have, because that's just the way to go. So the amount of penetration is, at the end of the day, not that important. It is important, obviously, but if you're shooting at weak spots, if it can go through, that's the most important thing. And most, if not all, shells easily go through. You do have heat shells, smoke shells, you have all sorts of shells, but I use heat and APFSDS. They don't have ATGMs. Obviously, they don't have ATGMs. The main gun caliber is too small for that. Unlike with the T-72s and T-64s, for example, they can launch ATGMs through the main cannon, but obviously they do have a larger main gun, and they can easily fit missiles into the vehicle. Well, I guess I'll just finish the battle with this vehicle. I'll be playing the vehicle next, I believe. It's this vehicle is also really solid. Since I'm already driving it, I might as well talk about it a little bit. The M60A1 RISE P is a surprisingly good little vehicle. A decent upgrade over the M60A1. Seems to have tougher armor, although at the same time it also has a lot of these explosive blocks attached onto the vehicle, which does help against missiles and heat-based shells. Although technically ATGMs are heat-based shells. Okay, well, that didn't destroy the what was that vehicle? The M48. And there is 4 vehicles looking at me. Well, about to be 3 vehicles. Yep, now it's 3 vehicles. And about to be 1 more destroyed. There we go. I like the main cannon on this vehicle. It's very good, actually. Well, that's 10 destroyed vehicles. That's not bad, actually. That's not bad at all, actually. Well, I guess I'll move forward, maybe? Depends on the situation. Have a medium tank over here. Perfect. Well, not a bad battle. Could have probably played a little bit better. Only if I didn't die like I did die. But never mind, that happens at the end of the day. Was nonetheless a decent battle. I'm not obviously not going to complain. Okay, a lot of medals as well. So let's go to the next battle and let's see. I'll just go to my favorite position. Again, this vehicle is so fast, you can pretty much go to any position you like. It's again incredibly fast. It can be a sniper, it can camp, it can be tactical. You have a lot of options at your disposal here with this vehicle.
I agree.
Autopilot engaged.
Okay, I was a little bit distracted. My apologies for that. Oh, M48. That was a good hit. And the M48 escaped. Okay, fine, fair enough.
Warp drive active.
And if you might wonder what's my favorite thing about this vehicle, I would probably say my favorite thing about this particular vehicle is the speed. I like speedy vehicles, speedy tanks, and the speed on this main battle tank. Well, is it actually a main battle tank? That's the question, right? Is this a main battle tank? I would say it is. It should be, to be more accurate. It should be a main battle tank. I honestly kind of forgot on the tech level. Is this like the prototype Abrams? I honestly completely forgot about the history of all that. But since players are saying that but since people are saying Abrams next, I'm kind of suspected that this is like the prototype or something. So that's where I got the idea from, at least. Well, 5 destroyed vehicles. Okay, not bad. Well, might actually go and capture the base, or maybe not. I mean, again, this position is this particular position where I'm at right now is really good, really solid. So I usually like to go here. I mean, if it works, I guess it works. So I'm not going to complain. This position is one of the best positions where you can go to at this map from this position. The reverse speed, and the reverse speed is incredible. It's one of the things that I have to give credit to the vehicle. it is incredibly fast in reverse. You can easily move out of danger if your driver is alive, of course. I have to mention that the driver needs to be alive if you want to escape danger, but this vehicle, it's very easy to just escape from dangerous situations. Of course, I'm not particularly good at that because for some reason I always get yeeted, but you know. Oh look, T10M, a T10A map, not a T10M. The T10M is scary, but the T10A not so much. Although still has a very powerful main gun. Okay, that worked, and going back to my old place, but that's not going to work apparently. Yep, that's not going to work. Obviously, it's not going to work. As I mentioned before, when it comes to escaping, I'm not good at that for some reason. The survivability of the vehicle is, I would say, really good. Not really surprising though, that the vehicle is quite survivable, but you know. But you know, definitely takes a couple hits for this vehicle to be destroyed in some cases. And now back to the M60A1 RISE. This vehicle loves me for some reason. But as I mentioned before, the RISE is a surprisingly good little vehicle. I like it. It is not the fastest, no, obviously not as fast as the Chrysler, but it definitely gets the job done quite easily. Has a very powerful main gun as well. I love the main gun of this vehicle. It slaps, and somehow surprisingly is able to bounce a lot of shells. I was impressed by the armor of the RISE. It's a surprisingly fun little vehicle. And one more hit should destroy it. There we go. Nice. Okay, well, does seem to be a victory.
Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close.
T10A, and well, okay, could have, if it only destroyed the ammo, would have been one more destroyed vehicle. But in any case, that was it for this little video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, as always, I'll see you next time.